Good morning, everybody. We start the week of reviews by taking a look at another Neil Young EP channel. As you recall, we took a look at um, El Dorado some years ago, but this is an acoustic live EP, sort of, called The Times, that Neil recorded amid the COVID-19 pandemic. It's made up of 7 songs. Let me backpedal a little bit to kind of get around the fact that he couldn't go out and tour. Neil decided to perform these intimate, and I do mean intimate, acoustic live performances from his house in Colorado. Actually, him and Sugarcane Jane are probably the pioneers of such performances because in my eyes, because then it seemed like everybody was doing it. But anyway, Neil called these performances fireside, fireside, kind of like fireside chats, or and what he would do is, just perform a small selection of songs and acoustically on piano and mainly guitar and harmonica. And sometimes he would walk around the property while doing so, and I thought it was cool because I had never seen his house in Colorado. And during a lot of these performances, he would pull out rarities that he had, in some cases, never performed live before, and one of those is on the Times, but we'll get to that in a second. And the EP is made up of some of these performances. I have several favorites on this record. Actually, I like the whole record, but my particular favorites are Looking for a Leader 2020, which is an acoustic version with updated lyrics of Looking for a Leader from Living with War, and the lyrics have to do with Neil's opinion of the current political climate at the time, because right before President Trump was ousted, and he had run afoul of Neil by using Rocking in a Free World several times without his permission. And so I think Neil kind of got his frustrations out by reworking Looking for a Leader. By the way, the EP was released on September 18th of 2020. And it's funny because when I was preparing the notes for the video today, I looked on Wikipedia when I was doing the screenshot, and the genre of music that it was listed the EP was listed under was lo-fi, and which brings me to my next point. I think the sound of the EP reminds me of the sound of A Letter Home, because as you recall, A Letter Home kind of sounded like it was recorded, in a it was recorded in an old style recording booth, and this record kind of reminds me of that, because all of the sound the sound of the record sounds like it was homemade, or like he was recording it just on a cassette tape, which I think is cool, but another one of my favorites is he did an acoustic version of Alabama, and he also did acoustic versions of Campaigner, which is also one of my favorites, and in particular he covered The Times They're Changing by Dylan, and I love the harmonica part, his harmonica work on this version. It is tremendous, and I think Neil wanted to choose songs for this that had a particular that had to do with the times we were living in, and because basically when the pandemic hit, everything was kind of ground to a halt, and people were kind of blindsided and didn't know what we could do or how long this would be going on. And so I think Neil wanted to give us something to take our minds off what was going on, and I think this was a tremendous way to do so, because I know personally for me that it was a scary time, because because it was just a freaky time, and I found solace in watching Neil every so often, and like I said when we were doing our the review of Sugarcane Jane's, when we were doing the Sugarcane Jane review, I found solace in watching them too, because if it weren't for them and Neil, I would have gone nuts with it, so they saved my sanity, and I think that's what Neil was kind of trying to do, was kind of give us a distraction from all this. And actually too, no one performance was the same. I mean, he would always choose different songs to do, or find ways of doing them, or find different ways of doing them. And like I said earlier, I liked it because you never knew what he was gonna do. He would always pull a rarity out of the hat, you know, a lot of times. And sometimes he would be, you know, it wasn't just by the fireside. He did them on the porch, which I think is where this EP was mainly recorded. And he had no audience. It was just him, Daryl, Hannah, his wife, and their animals, dogs, cats, which I kind of found cool because, you know, I had never gotten to see Neil's and Daryl's pets and stuff, and sometimes he would do these episodes in the snow, you know, kind of just, you know, walking all over his property. Oh, the song that I was gonna get to, that I was gonna mention too, is he also did a version of Little Wing, but from Hawks and Doves. But, and to my knowledge, he had never performed Little Wing live, sort of. And there's a version of Ohio that's on here too. So I hope you enjoy this.